Thank you.
Can you tell us what is the most difficult thing about being an independent artist and pursuing music?
For me, I would say the finances, to be completely honest with you. I mean, anyone can write music. You can be as creative with your thinking all day as you want, but studio time costs a lot. Engineers cost a lot. Unless we have an in-house producer, beats and instrumentals cost a lot. Video production, graphics.
Everything. Oh my God.
Yeah, like that's why like a lot of management people kind of like want you to try to push a single before you try to push like an album or an EP, because there's so much money that you got to put behind just pushing one song that like imagine trying to push 12. You know what I mean? So
that's gonna break the bank.
Yeah. And especially for like an artist like me, like I mean I rap about a lot of different things, but I try to keep my hands clean. I don't really dabble in the streets and doing a lot of stuff that'll make me some quick money. So when you're taking the long road, it's just that it's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's all going to pan out.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we have to flip it to the bright side anyway. So what would you say is the most fulfilling thing about being an independent artist and pursuing music? What do you love the most about this journey so far?
Believe it or not, I might sound like a vanity slave, but it's actually the recognition, to be honest with you.
As you should.
Because like, well, you know, specifically, I've been rapping for a long time, like I said. And I put out mixtapes. I've recorded my own music in my garage with a microphone and the computer with the big back and everything, and teaching myself how to do it. And I put out like a lot of mixtapes and like YouTube singles and stuff back in the day. And I was always scared to put something out commercially, like on all streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the reason I was scared to do that was because I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of like me putting in so much work, time, and money behind like a song or a single, and then it comes back and it gets like 100 streams or something like that, and then I would feel like a failure. And so the first time that I actually decided to do it, I was talking to my manager, put some money behind the single, and to this day it is like the biggest single that I ever released. And like, I mean, even back in the day when streaming numbers weren't like a big thing, and like when we had like DatPiff and like mixtape websites and stuff, like I would get like 1,000 here or 1,000 there or whatever. I put out my first single commercially, and I've gotten the best numbers that I've ever gotten before.
Yes.
So yeah.
So
like,
you gotta bet on yourself.
Yeah. You can't give up. You gotta, like you said, like
but those numbers against all of us. So you ain't alone. Now we have to switch gears for a second, because obviously I mentioned in the beginning that Lige does a lot of things. You are like a jack of all trades. So you are also in the filmmaking industry. You do acting, all that good stuff. And as of recently, you are working on a project, or have worked on a project with a Megaforce Story Films for Power Rangers as Eric Blake.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about working on that project, your character, like all of that good stuff?
I loved working on that project. So I met the director. His name is Tyler Austinell. He's from New York. He's a bit younger than me. He just graduated college. He's a college film student. And I actually met him on another set when I was in Indianapolis filming for a different show. And he was casted in that show as an actor. Like another thing, like I'm a big nerd, like big comic book, sci-fi, action, adventure, fantasy nerd. So I try to get involved in anything that's like that. And throughout the years, I've met different friends at conventions from like all over the country and stuff like that. So whenever they're doing projects or anything like that, they either reach out to me for consultation or for acting. And
nice.
The project I was doing in Indianapolis, it was like my third time being out there. It's my first time meeting Tyler. Found out he was a young director. He showed me a lot of his stuff, and he's really, really good. And he told me that he was stationed in New Jersey and New York. And I was like, yo, bro,
right
like,
up the street.
Yeah, I'm like, we're in Indianapolis now, but if you ever need like a guy with dreads or whatever, I'm like, yo, just call me. Like, we'll drive up there. And he sure enough did just that. And I really wasn't expecting him to do it, but he called me to do this project. It's called Go for the Goal. It's a fan independent film based on a Power Ranger season called Power Rangers Megaforce that came out a few years ago. it wasn't well received by the actual fans.
Mm-hmm.
And so he decided to do his own version of it and give each individual ranger like their own film.
Oh.
And so when it came down to the last one, I was like, I mean, I don't want to be a Power Ranger in this one. I was like, I got too much hair, I can't wear a helmet. But he called me and my friend who I do my podcast with, his name's Sterling, shout out Otto. And he was like, yo, I actually have 2 parts for you guys. That'll be perfect. He's like, can you guys make it out to New York? And we went out there, and like that was my best filming experience. Like, it made me feel like an actor, really.
Yes.
Like on set, they wouldn't even let me do anything. I was trying to help with stuff. They were like, no, you're talent. Just sit down.
Come on,
like,
superstar.
They was like, do you need anything? And I was like, yeah, I can get used to this.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, I like this life.
Uh-huh.
So that's all a part of speaking up, networking. Closed mouths don't get fed. It's like if you didn't make that connection or say something, y'all probably would have left that set and that would have been it. So
definitely.
hopefully y'all taking notes out there. Well, so as compared to when you're doing music, when it comes to you doing filmmaking and acting, what do you love the most about being on set and working on projects? Like, what does that do for you?
It gives me a chance to, I pretty much call it exercise, and like I equate it with music and filmmaking. I'm not shy, but I'm quiet.
I can relate.
So when it comes down to like being on set, being filmed, or like being in the studio, like I have to break out of that. I mean, I can't be on the microphone being like super low recording music. I'm gonna be there all day and I'm gonna waste a lot of money. And I can't be shy or super low when I'm talking or on camera, because we're gonna be all day doing take after take after take. So I use it as that, and I love just the community around it. When I'm doing films, I'm around so many more people. When I'm in the studio, I like to have it like a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
But when I'm on set, like I said, there's PAs, there's grips, there's the director, there's the producer, there's the other actors and stuff. And it kind of forces me to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Do you feel like it helps you too? Because it's like, at least when you're doing music, actually, I feel like it's sort of the same for both. Because if you're doing music, you can sort of have an alter ego and it's like step out of your element with that too. But at least, especially with acting, you're not being lies. You're a completely different character. So do you feel like it helps in that aspect? Because it's like, all right, I'm portraying a character, so I can kind of mask myself behind this and step out of how I normally am. Yeah,
I think it helps because, like I said, initially when I first started getting into filmmaking, it was for story consultation, script supervisor, and I really just wanted to be on set and be around. And so when people kind of convinced me to act and be on camera and like asked me if I wanted certain parts and whatever, and I already agreed, I kind of felt the pressure to perform. And so with that being said, once again, not to sound like a vanity slave, but when I started doing it, a lot of people were like, yo, like you're really good at this. And I'm like, hey, I'm just trying not to mess up. And so like, I feel like that definitely plays a big part into it.
As you should. And we're going to go right back into you and your music because we have to talk about your next song, Curses, featuring Vory. Did I pronounce his name right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
there we go. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the song Curses featuring Vory, shout out to Vory. That's the actual continuation of the very first single that I was telling you about. When I first ever put anything out. My first single I ever put out was a song called Blessings featuring Vory. And Vory, he used to be signed to Meek Mill's Dream Chasers.
Nice, okay.
And we had a producer that we both worked with. And that producer, he's always looking out for me. Shout out producer X. He had an opportunity. He was like, yo, I have this song with Vory. I have everything cleared. I got the paperwork. I want to send it your way. And like I said, that story was that story with the first single, Blessings. And with it performing so well, the producer and Vory, like they kind of spun back around and was like, we had this other song. And so I wrote the song around the hook that Vory already laid. And I kind of wanted to make it like the opposite, or like the contrast of the first song, which is Blessings.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's Blessings and Curses. I released Blessings in 2023. Curses came out January of this year, 2026.
Come on, full circle moment.
And it's essentially a gospel song, because we're pretty much talking about unwavering faith, or even if you have wavering faith, how you should always just like trust God and like remember that you're blessed. And It's one of my few songs where I don't use any cursing or any like vulgar language, so you can play it anywhere, radio, church, cookout.
So our mamas could listen to it.